Hello, unapologetics, and welcome to another unapologetic conversation show. So it's a few days to go, and we're down to Christmas and we're down to the New Year. And I don't know about you guys, but I really can't believe the idea that in a few days we're leaving 2020 behind. But before we leave 2020 behind, it's very important for us to put on the right framework, the right mind frame, in order for us to cross over to 2021 with a renewed spirit. And in today's talk, we have a very special guest. So our very special guest is a dear friend of mine. She is a physician or a direct primary care physician. She founded a unique direct primary care company called Genera, which is helping so many people here in the United States. She's a life coach as well as a mindfulness expert. So let's give a warm, unapologetic welcome to our dear friend, Dr. Margarita Castro Zarraga. Hello, Marga. I love your energy today, but then again, I'm not surprised because Marga, by the way, my friends, is one of the most energetic people that I know of. So, Marga, how are you? What are you most excited about now that 2020 is over?
Francis, I think you're talking about yourself when you talk about energetic people of the planet. So just trying to match you.
Very good, very good. So, what are you excited about now that for 2021? What are you most excited about?
Transformation.
Transformation. Okay, so
I was
what?
gonna say that I've been lucky enough that my own community has given a name to what I do.
Mhm.
I think it's easy to tell people about life coaching, but I really prefer their words, which is transformation, wellness, guidance. So, or transformation guidance. So, transformation is definitely on my mind because that is my agenda all the time.
Very good, very good. So, let's jump straight into our topic right now
Yeah.
because our topic is we're supposed to talk about Blahness, right? And
Yeah.
for many people, maybe 2020 wasn't a year that had major catastrophe. So there are a lot of people there that they've survived 2020.
Yeah.
But there's something a little bit insidious. So a lot of these people, they're having a sense of boredom. There's this existential apathy that comes in their lives. There's a general feeling of joy being sucked out of their life, and there's just essentially passivity. And I myself have undergone this feeling, right? This feeling where okay, things aren't good, but they aren't bad as well. They're just blah, right? And I just want to find out from you, what is the definition of this blahness in
Yeah.
life?
So I actually love that term because with that those that four letter word blah,
Hmm.
it has an emotion on its own, right? Like I always teach my patients to listen to the emotion of a word, and when you say the word blah, it's so flat. It reeks of um, an absence of excitement. And when I this is part of what my major tenets are, which is to tune into your awareness of your emotions or mastery of emotions.
Hmm.
So when there is blahness,
Uh-huh.
the opposite of mastering your emotions, there's a lack, there's an absence, there's a void. So that's it, and it feels empty, and that's definitely not what humans are made for. It's definitely the opposite of living our life's purpose. That for me is my definition of blahness.
So it's very interesting what you're saying that blahness is a lack of mastery over one's emotions, right? So what you're therefore saying is that blahness is something that we kind of just permit to happen to us, right? Is that it? Is that what you're saying? We're just passively accepting the spirit of blahness. Is that it?
Passive, I use the word, I like the word passive. I also like the word unconscious.
We're unconsciously putting on the spirit of blahness. And what do you think is causing blahness in a lot of people? Because just like you, I also do some life coaching of my own, and with a lot of the people I deal with, they have the same feeling, right? Where life isn't bad, but it ain't that good. Also, it's just blah. So what do you think is causing this? Because I'm seeing there seems to be like this epidemic of Blahness in people's lives. So I just want to find out, what do you think is the general cause of it?
So I think people first find themselves in a state of overwhelm, and
Mm-hmm.
then going to your question, what is the cause? I
Uh-huh.
think the overwhelm is like taken as this huge glob of nothingness, and then people don't know where to start. So there's this emotion of feeling at a loss.
Okay.
And when you go to how did they get there, so you want to like turn back time, right? Chi, 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 chi. I call that micro momenting, like you're walking back.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Micro
micro
moment.
momenting your way back. And the cause of getting to this glob of Blahness, which is quite overwhelming, is there were small decisions that were all unconscious that led you to that point. Small micro moments
Mm.
that lack consciousness that led you to that point.
So there are small decisions that lead to Blahness. And what are these small decisions so that people will be aware of them? What are some of these small decisions that people unconsciously do that leads them to the spirit of Blahness? Like sort of things that we want to be able to give our viewers things that they can pinpoint. What
I
are
love it.
examples of that?
I love it. Like I always like to have people come home with something concrete. And
Uh-huh.
but I guess it's a huge question at the same time. So let me just uh, cite something that is common from what I'm seeing as a pattern, right? And it's two things actually: lack of self love
Mm-hmm.
or self care. So basically, it's that's a central point that I feel like I keep on people bringing back to as if it were a blind spot for most,
Uh-huh.
where they've made particular decisions, whether setting a goal where this is your financial goal, and or this is your career goal, or this is your relationship goal, but sometimes they miss out on the elements of their life that pertain to their self care or their self love. For example, um, mothers, like
Mm.
homemakers, for example, when they put everybody first before themselves. And in fact, Saturday Night Live, if you Google them, they have this YouTube. Um, they
The
have
Christmas.
yeah SNL on YouTube where they had this family celebrating all these gifts for
Uh-huh.
each other, but the mother was the neglected person. So
What did she get? What was the gift that she got? She just got one gift.
oh, the bathrobe.
Bathrobe. So everyone had amazing presents, and poor mom just got a bathrobe, and that's it, right? But I'm sure mothers out there can resonate to that. So let's continue
Yeah,
the
yeah,
story.
exactly. So I just wanted a concrete example of somebody who, where usually it's not like you decide I am putting myself last.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a conscious decision, like I am gonna forget about myself. It usually kind of sneaks up at you because you're saying that I love my children, therefore I have to work very hard. Therefore, I don't care if I do overtime. I was this. Never mind if I have to just eat a donut now so that I can make it to their to drive them to ballet. You know, like when I say eat a donut, because that's all she ate the whole day. Never mind preparing her own meals for herself. So those are small decisions, right? It's just a donut. It's just an extra hour at work where she could earn maybe an extra $60, $300 by staying
Mm-hmm.
at work, depending on what kind of work she does. But the point is, it's that one question. It seems harmless, but if there's no reflection, there's no pause, then where does it really match up to your goal of becoming healthier? How can you say that you want to take care of yourself, be there for your family, if you're spending all of your time, energy, and resources on abusing your body.
Mm.
And it doesn't it and a lot of people unfortunately just wake up to that. they're
Yes.
they're 40 pounds overweight, 100 pounds for some. That
Ouch! That's so painful. I feel like you're talking about me.
because that you're so funny. But you told me to make it concrete.
Very much, very much. Let's make it concrete then. Simple as it is, let's make it concrete because that's how we learn, right?
Concrete. But right, you can imagine. So I feel like where the genius of approaching these things has been, you and I talking about it now is not supposed to add to the overwhelm.
Uh-huh.
It's enlightening people that if you plug yourself into structures such as accountability partners,
Mm.
workout groups, healthy communities that are like-minded individuals who are, and this is where it's challenging to really find a good fit for you,
Mm.
of people who are is invested in your success as you yourself are. And initially, I find that I am more invested in somebody's success than they are because they don't even know that they need the help. So
Mm.
that is the beauty of the process that I take people through when I talk about transformation guidance.
No, I love this idea. I mean, like what I said, it kind of strikes close to home as well.
Yeah.
So like in my case, I guess the reason why my Blahness also came about was because I in the past I would really take care of so much people. I was very passionate about serving other people and helping other people to the point that I actually neglected taking care of myself. I neglected my diet. I neglected my exercise habits simply because I really felt like, okay, there's no time for that. If I focus on myself, that's kind of selfish. And maybe a lot of us, we have this mistaken notion that taking care of ourselves is an act of selfishness, right? And what's
Yes.
interesting about this particular conversation we're having is that it casts a different light into what Blahness is all about, because a lot of us think that Blahness simply means we're bored out of life. But in reality, it's actually just simply we haven't been taking care of ourselves. And if we go through the act of actually taking care of ourselves, it's one of the easiest way to get rid of the Blahness. And for me, that's really fascinating. So for all of our viewers right now, please take advantage of this opportunity. Dr. Zarraga loves answering questions, so feel free to type in your questions in the chat box, and we're going to try our best to answer that. At the same time, at this point, I'd like to invite everyone who's not a member of our group to join the Unapologetics group on Facebook. So we have a lot of free, amazing content there that will help transform your life as well. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Francis Mir and LinkedIn at Francis Miranda. So back to our conversation. So we were talking about the fact that Blahness is a result of a lack of self-love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a result of that, maybe as we're moving into a new year with new resolutions, right? What are concrete acts of self-love that you think, Dr. Marga, that in your experience, what concrete acts of self-love can help slowly remove the Blahness? Because maybe it doesn't happen overnight. So,
Yes.
in your opinion,
It does.
what do you think? What are concrete tips that you can give to people?
So actually, one of the most useful things that I find in interactions like this, live and whatnot, is awareness,
Mm-hmm.
which is the opposite of unconscious, right?
Oh, okay. So you have to be aware of it. Wonderful.
Yeah. So I think people should reflect on how their awareness journey starts.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is I have a concrete way of doing that, which is at almost every session that I do, I walk a person to start on the I always say that my passion is to bring people to the starting line of their contemplative life.
Wow, I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. So I always integrate like some a breathing exercise at minimum every time I have a chance. Like why is a medical doctor who is a transformative coach talking about breathing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I go back to the word awareness.
Awareness.
How can you transform if you don't even know your baseline, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, if you're unplugged to the reality of where you're at, that's also when you would be able to gauge if you're ready for change.
Uh-huh.
And change is a tricky thing because in reality, ye are always changing. We, you, I, all of us are always changing. And so it's actually to our detriment when we don't choose to change or when we decide to remain unaware. It's because change will happen anyway, but if you choose not to become aware, then it's a change that you most likely will not like. Does that make sense?
No, no. For me, it blew my mind when you talk about the fact that change is a constant, but a lot of us are unaware about that. And just as you were talking, in my mind, what was coming to me was that part of the horror of being unaware of change is that if the change is bad, you're unaware of it. So you keep sliding down that slippery slope until you hit rock bottom.
Yes.
On the flip side of the coin is if you're unaware of the good changes, that's when you become very harsh on yourself. You tell yourself, oh, nothing, you're not good enough, you haven't you're not becoming better. But in reality, because you're simply unaware of the good things that are changing in you, you're not cutting yourself some slack. You
Yes.
know, you're being harsh on yourself. And
That's
for me, I think I love the word that you used. I love the word that you used, contemplative, right? And when we think of the word contemplative, for us Filipinos, you know, grew up in the Philippines, contemplative is normally like a word used for nuns, right? They're contemplative nuns, right? But in reality, I think we're suffering through an epidemic right now of a lack of contemplation.
yes.
People are so busy, you know, doing a million things that
Yup.
we don't take a step back and do this act of contemplation. So I want to talk about that now. I want to probe you on that.
Yes,
So
yes.
for a busy person like me, who you always scold, by the way, because of my busyness. So for a busy person like me, what would be the first steps that they
Yes.
can apply so they can slowly move towards this spirit of contemplation that you were talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna talk to the camera. Is that okay?
Up to the camera, yes.
All it takes is for you to start with 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes, close your eyes
Mm-hmm.
and breathe.
Close your eyes and breathe.
Yes, that is like the mini step to simply allowing what I call a neural handshake to happen. What I mean by neural handshake. So I came up with this concrete explanation for my patients where your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, they need to talk. And so
Okay.
when you start to breathe in that 2 minute, eyes closed, all you're thinking about is your breath and scanning your face for the
Mhm.
air in this area. So
Uh-huh.
that is where I often walk people through what I call is the neural handshake from the movie Pacific Rim.
The neural handshake where
Neural
you
handshake.
giant robot and there you go.
So for those of you who don't know, so Pacific Rim is one of our favorite movies in the family where there's a huge ass robot
Mhm.
operated by two humans, and they have to be so in sync because they have to serve as the nervous system of a gigantic robot to fight
Uh-huh.
monsters and all of that. So when you breathe, that is when your subconscious and conscious mind, your subconscious and conscious mind, that's when they have a chance to converse.
Okay.
And so I love, like I said, I like the word micro momenting. I love chopping up things. A lot of people say that my style is very digestible because I try to make these little changes. And all I'm asking again is 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I'm going to give you those 2 minutes.
Okay.
So hold that thought, okay? I'm going to give you
Okay.
those 2 minutes. But before that, let's read a couple of comments. So
Mm.
Jeffrey Mariari has said that thank you for this,
Aw, thank you.
Dr. Margarita. So he's very
Oh,
grateful for the learnings that he's getting. Another person is her name is Christina Miranda, but she's not my sister. So apparently
I was wondering. Hi.
so she said, "Thank you for having this. It's so powerful." And apparently she's from the
Aw.
Philippines. She says, "Maraming salamat po." So for those
Alright.
non-English, non-Tagalog speakers out there, "Maraming salamat po" is Filipino for thank you. And
Magandang umaga sa kanilang lahat.
that's good morning to everyone out there. And the last comment that I wanted to share with us is from Noy Noy Tan, where he says, listen to the
Okay.
emotion of the
Mhm.
word. So thank you very much to everyone who made comments. And
Thank
for
you.
those of you who are listening and you do have questions, please feel free to ask us. Right now, we're going to
Yes.
transition into a very brief 2-minute exercise that Marga and I talked about that
Yes.
we feel it's going to be very helpful for you. So, Marga, why don't we talk? Why don't we take them through this exercise that you were discussing with me?
I'm going should I try music or just my voice? What do you think?
I think your voice should be good. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. So um the 2 minutes hasn't started yet, but I walk people through relaxing their body before entering into a contemplative state, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because the important thing is not to be too fidgety, while you're doing this, because you want to be able to focus. So,
People who are watching this right now, this is
yeah,
something they can do right now
yes,
at the
please.
moment, right?
Yes,
Oh,
definitely they
perfect.
can.
Let's do this together, guys. From
Yes.
all over the world, let's do this together.
For example, on this thing, I choose a really nice chair. That's why I love this chair, because I have neck support, my lower back is supported. So I keep my hands on my lap, and I even ask my patients to retract their shoulders such that their earlobes are aligned with their shoulder blade.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're in that erect position, I also ask them to take off their glasses, actually, so that there's less stuff on the face to sense. So with that, I'm going to start the 2 minutes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath to start things off. These are called clearing breaths. There's no right or wrong way of breathing. In and out, in and out. You're leaving behind any of the thoughts, words, memories outside of this space. By simply breathing, you are clearing the way, the path for your own enlightenment in this small action of just tuning in to your breath. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. There's no judgment on a right or wrong breath. There is simply your way. Feel the air coming in and out, mouth or nose, doesn't matter. You are giving yourself these precious minutes turning into seconds, tuning in to your current, present reality. And before you know it, 2 minutes is up.
That was 2 minutes.
Yes.
Amazing.
Did it feel fast? What did it feel like? The Yeah, go ahead.
No, it feels fast. I didn't even notice that it was already 2 minutes. I was like expecting it to be longer. And when I started this meditation, by the way, guys, Marga was the one, Dr. Castro was the one who got me into the process of really meditating, and it has done wonders. I tell you, literally, even my blood pressure has gone down. So that's a good thing, right?
Let
Uh,
me give some reasons why a medical doctor like myself is talking about this contemplative life, this breathing. It's because mind body medicine is now actually a robust, growing community among medical practitioners. Oh, thank you. She said nice feeling.
Rosebell Protasio. So Rosebell Protasio is one of my dearest friends in the
Yes,
Philippines.
hi.
He said it's a nice feeling. And
Yeah.
then Jeffrey Malyari wrote here that magandang umaga po will apply everything that I
Oh,
learned here. So see, you're making an impact all over the world.
I
Okay.
love it. So, as I was saying, this mind body medicine is now a growing discipline.
Uh-huh.
Here, I've been attending and connecting with Herbert Benson Mind Body Institute at associated with Harvard, Massachusetts General Hospital.
Mhm.
Um, I am very excited for the evolving information around these forms of relaxation responses that I'm totally 100% getting behind, and having people really take root into these new habits and
Uh-huh.
having them connect with not only your physical wellness, but your mind, body, spiritual, psychological, social. So you get the whole gamut of benefits by simply training in these very key habits that um, are now there's building evidence in the genetic realm, in the vascular realm, or vascular. Let me simplify that. In the blood vessels, they're documenting less inflammation that leads to things like heart attacks when people commit to a robust contemplative life. So these 2 minutes can eventually become seven, can eventually become 10, can become 20, until you can do it twice a day. And for the masters, they can even do this for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah, that's why there's the rest of our lifetime.
Yeah. So we do have additional comments. So people are loving the session. So Noy said he loved the part
Oh,
when she said no judgment in breathing. There is no right and wrong breathing,
yeah,
and you're right. And I guess that makes total sense. I like the part that let's jump off from this idea that there's no judgment, because I think whenever we go into a meditative state, because we're trained to be judgmental towards our very selves,
yes,
it's nice to be reminded that in a simple thing as breathing, there's no right or wrong.
yes.
So let's not be judgmental. Let's love ourselves even more, right?
And to breathe unapologetically.
Yes, yes, yes. To breathe unapologetically. And then I have another comment from Jeffrey Malyari where he said, last week, due to family concerns, I wasn't able to sleep for 3 days, literally. I tried meditation and finally was able to sleep real quick. Now, Jeffrey, if I were you, I'd take on Dr. Zarraga. She's going to give you a free 30-minute check up, a 30-minute session. So we're going to talk about that near the end of this interview. So please make sure that you stay till the very end, because we're going to be talking about that. Okay? So
Yes.
Dr. Zarraga, Dr. Marga, now that we're ending 2020 and we're about in a few weeks' time, we're crossing over into a brand new year. Now, many people out there, they're suffering from Blahness in their life. So, what is one concrete thing that you'd like them to do as a resolution, as a take home from watching this episode with you, that they can easily apply immediately, meaning there's no special training required. They just need to do it right now. And it will have a big impact on washing away the blahness in their life and reigniting the embers of passion, excitement for life. What would that be?
I guess this should be separate from taking advantage of the clarity session, because that is
We'll
also
separate from that. Yes, we'll talk about that.
as I said, these 2 minutes that I've just taught you can be with somebody who is really serious about their goals and their emotional mastery. you cannot do without this skill of
Mhm.
meditation and breathing. One
Meditation.
way or the other, I am quite confident that all people here have done this. It's
Uh,
just that, are you doing it consciously or unconsciously, right? And here, the habits that I'm introducing to the community going under my care are very purposeful and intentional, because I truly believe that when we build this contemplative life, we actually will find the goodness that we complain is absent when we watch the news, or when people and what's this people disappoint us. It's because of this. It's
uh-huh.
because we're going through life blah and not making conscious decisions. So
Mhm.
it starts again. What's this? This is so concrete that you don't even have to open a book, write something down. Just discipline, put on a timer and do your breathing, because exactly, you will see, as you if you dive into mind body medicine after today, you will find resources that actually show the change in the structure of the brain with people who practice this. So what's this again? That is the most concrete thing you can do the 2-minute thing that you learned and did today.
So the concrete advice, guys, is to do the 2-minute breathing exercise that Marga taught us today, right? So if you guys are committed to doing that, I want you to put in the chat box right now, I'm in. Because we really want to see
I like
commitment
that.
here in the unapologetics. We really want to help you guys make the most, not just out of 2020 and 2021, but for the rest of your life. And imagine how powerful that is, Marga. So what you're telling me is, just by starting off
Yeah,
with 2-minute breathing session, that can start the process of changing one's life.
that
How can something so simple be so impactful?
because we're stuck in patterns. It's very
Uh-huh.
hard to break patterns of being overwhelmed, anxious. That's why there's a ton of anxiety and depressed people before the pandemic and now more. So
Yes.
what's this? People need to commit to their own success.
You've
And
got to commit to your own success.
because
Okay, that's
if you don't
powerful.
take responsibility, you don't have power. Don't you agree, Mr. Unapologetic?
Yes, yes.
So I actually what's this put my link here, free clarity session for all people who are attending this talk.
Mhm.
So that's a very special extension to the unapologetics, who I know is a powerhouse group, because I look at your leader and I know that there's a purpose and a reason why you're attracted to the message of Francis Miranda. It's because somewhere, somehow, you're tired of a pattern. Am I
Mhm.
right? You're
Yeah.
tired of the pattern of apologizing. And
Yes.
so my passion has been to teach people their RNB, their right next best step. That
Right, next best step.
micro
Okay.
moment. Yeah. And I've just shared with you a key micro moment, which is you have to break some patterns by simply breathing.
Wonderful. So for you guys, if you check on the chat section of this video and you want to sign up for a free clarity session with Dr. Marga, just click on that link and sign up for it. I tell you, Dr. Marga has been very instrumental in transforming my life. She's been very instrumental in getting me out of a dark place, which this pandemic brought all of us to. So
Yeah.
I would like to extend with you this opportunity to connect with her and to really learn from her. Because
Thank you.
because
Um,
you know, we
go
all, that's what we're here for. We're here to help one another out, and this is a person that I believe can help transform your life. Okay.
Thank you so
We
much,
do have
Francis.
we do have another comment from Noy. So Noy wrote there that we are stuck in a pattern. Agree. As Bo said, we are creatures of habit. Okay, so there you go.
So I'm sending them for those of you who appreciate wellness content. I'm
Mhm,
sending my link as well to my Facebook group, Light Load
mhm.
Health and Wellness Release Community. And for those who want to read more about what I do and what kind of leadership track I've taken in medicine and in wellness. I'm at my name, Marga Zarraga, MD.com. I think Francis called me Marga Castro, which is my single name. But I've taken on my husband's name, Marga Zarraga. And so I'm margazarragamd.com. You will find there a contact page if you want to contact me. But also, I'm available here on Facebook with that link to direct to my calendar, as well as on the Facebook group Light Load Health and Wellness Release Group.
Wonderful. And again, before we end, I'd like to invite everyone who's watching right now, join the Unapologetics group in Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram as well at Francis Mir and LinkedIn at Francis Miranda. So before we end today's session, which is an amazing session, which you guys definitely should get in touch with Dr. Zarraga, what would be your last message to everyone as we prepare for 2021 so that we can have a Blahness New Year?
Well, the highest emotion and vibration, like what my sign says, grateful, is gratitude.
Gratitude.
So it's like, why is she asking us to be grateful after this sucky year, right? But in reality, folks, again, I'm talking to the camera. It's my thing today. Guys, we should really be thankful for the opportunity to change consciously. Because this challenge that is 2020, this challenge that is COVID and this pandemic, was an opportunity to choose between two things. Do you survive or do you thrive? And so only you can determine that. And I've chosen to thrive. And I'm taking people along with me. So please take the opportunity down below.
There you go. So since we're ending on a note of gratitude, we do want to extend our gratefulness to Dr. Marga Zarraga for joining us in today's unapologetic conversation. Thank you very much, Marga, for everything that you are, for everything that you do, and ultimately for being the awesome friend that you are. Okay? So on behalf of all of us here at the Unapologetics, we want to thank you and we want to wish you all a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas in advance. Till then, ho, 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 and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
So nice to meet everyone.